Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos and Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Lagos State Government holds Agrinnovation Club 5.0. State government analyzes 2025 budget, targets 247 billion naira monthly revenue, and Governor Sanwo-Olu inspects Adon Water Project Phase 2. We kick off the program from the agricultural sector. This time, the Lagos State Government has inducted over 60 young agripreneurs into the Agrinnovation Club to help boost food production in the state. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Systems, Abisola Olusanya, who was at the event, emphasized the club's commitment in making food more accessible and affordable to the people of Lagos, and government will continue to support them to achieve the goal. Please take a look.
It's the Lagos Agrinnovation Hangout 5.0 with the theme Experiencing, Sharing and Official Inauguration of Club Members. The annual event, organized by the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems, has brought together state government officials, foreign partners, young agripreneurs and other stakeholders in the agriculture sector to deliberate on how to achieve food-secured Lagos. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Systems, Abisola Olusanya, highlights the need to engage young individuals in the agriculture sector.
As a ministry, our mandate is very simple. We want to contribute to sustainable economic growth and the social well-being of the Lagos State people. And we are set out to promote sustainable food value chains or food systems through agribusiness-centric policies. Policies that will help you, policies that will help us, that will impact on quality, the availability, as well as the affordability and accessibility of food to the citizenry. That is what we are about, and that is what we believe the Agrinnovation Club should also be able to do. What is our mandate as a club? It is just to create that ecosystem where you can meet one another, where you can partner. I was so happy to hear that we have quite a lot of fish people in this space. You can start to collaborate to do bigger and better things. You can start to come together to advocate for certain changes you would like to see. You can come together to negotiate even with government on what you want done on your behalf. That is the essence of this club.
Some of those in the sector share their personal experience with kickstarting their agric business and also encouraging individuals who are about to join the club to have a vision for career success.
I'm sure many of us must have had moments when you ask yourself, who sent me this? How? Who sent me? Yeah, I've had so many of such that I would find myself, in fact, I think I enjoy that time when I just sit on the floor. I see, you're just, what is going on? Your hands on your head. But shortly after, what do? Pick up yourself and continue. So it could be that you've had what kind of problems you have faced. It's possible flood, you wake up and flood has taken half of your farm or even 85% like it did for me in 2017. Or sometimes you have products and people just like, oh, what kind of produce did you bring to me? These vegetables are not too fresh, or these tomatoes are somehow. And what are you expecting? That tomatoes or vegetables should be fresh forever? Anyway, but despite these challenges, we are here today because we believe in something greater. The power of agriculture to transform lives, businesses, and of course, our economy. We're all crying about what the situation is, but we here can change what Nigerian economy is all about.
My focus is to raise an army that is going to fight hunger. And that is exactly what the Lagos State Ministry of Agric is doing. So I'm trying to bridge the knowledge gap. I studied fisheries and aquatic biology. Yes, we graduated, we had like 84 in my set. But those of us that are practicing at the moment, we are not more than 5 in my set. And that has been the experience year in, year out. All because the system is not making us see the business of the career And it got me thinking. I said, I need to make it more attractive and make it sexy, like our commissioner would say. And that's what I'm doing. And I have a lot of people too that I look up to. So I started training too. But that little business I started some years back took me to the end of the world, as the US.
Agricultural Councillor from the United States Department of Agriculture and his counterpart from Netherlands commend the Lagos State government for coming up with the Agrinnovation Club.
Conference, workshop, hangout, where people are so excited, people are cheering, never before. Just absolutely amazing. So glad, so honored to be here. You know, a huge shout out to the Commissioner of the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems. You're setting the bar very high for us civil servants because, you know, we're just so used to, you know, reading these big long papers, and you're setting the bar really high. So I'm very happy to be here. You're doing great work.
I'd like to thank you for your kind words on the Netherlands and what we have been doing here in Nigeria over so many years already. And I think we should also all commend you for your role and your leadership, first and foremost, for setting up this wonderful innovation, Agri-Innovation Club. I mean, it's not only a very fun place to be, but it makes so much sense to bring together like-minded people who can compare notes and actually discuss what is really important. And also your leadership for setting up this very interesting, I wasn't aware of that, but I'm a newcomer, the logistics and food hub that is coming up in Lagos.
Some of those newly inducted into the club commend the government and fellow members for advancing the agriculture sector.
As an inductee, even though today is just making it official, I feel excited. It's just a documentation. But from practice and operations, we've been major part of the background work that has been part of it. So this is just, for me, a recognition of what has been done in the background or in the shadows behind the scene. And today, of course, they are bringing us in front of the camera. But that in itself is an acknowledgement of the work that has been done in the background, and a show of appreciation of what we have been doing. So we are excited, and hopefully it will spur us to do even more as young entrepreneurs.
The key things that I've learned from the entire time, I think what really stood out for me is the power of specialization and focus. There are so many times where as an individual you can do so many things, but learning how to hone all your energy and your skills into that one thing that you can now eventually scale up through vision, through innovation, through network, I think that's something that really stood out to me. And what the club genuinely stands for is people just being able to network and meet other people to expand what they're doing, both mentally, physically, and business.
The Commissioner for Agriculture encourages the youth to take advantage of the potential in the agriculture sector and boost food production in the state.
We want to have members that would align with the vision that we have and also have the kind of mindset that we want to propagate, particularly for our younger children. Members of this club, we want them to become ambassadors for the agricultural and food system space and showcase potentials to those in secondary schools, to those in universities, to those even in primary schools, that it is possible to have a career in the food space and still be very profitable, be very successful, and live a fulfilled life.
The event was rounded off with the inauguration of over 60 club members into the Agrinnovation Club, making them certified members of the group that will expand agric produce and supplies in Lagos State.
From agriculture to budget analysis, the Lagos State government has allocated 1.052 trillion naira for infrastructural development in its 2025 budget, reinforcing Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's commitment to completing ongoing projects and enhancing the state's urban landscape. Now, the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okpe George, disclosed this during the budget analysis press conference at Alausa in Ikeja.
It's a joint press conference organized by the Lagos State Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget to give a breakdown of the 2025 budget analysis. The Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget and his counterparts from the Ministry of Information and Strategy, Finance, Transportation, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, and the Ministry of Health.
Looking at our year 2025 budget and estimates,
Mr. Okpe George says the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service is expected to generate 1.4 trillion naira, accounting for 63% of the total IGR, while other ministries, departments and agencies will contribute about 830.177 billion naira, making up 37%.
the budget for sustainability is not just a fiscal document, but is structured around providing economic stability, environmental stewardship, and social equity to ensure that Lagos continues to thrive sustainably for generations to come. The year 2025 budget emphasizes on key 5 pillars: infrastructure and environmental sustainability, economic diversification, social inclusion and human capital development, and governance and institutional reforms. Rejuvenating and revitalizing multiple sectors within the state still remains this administration's focus, whilst acknowledging Nigeria's economic challenges, particularly high inflation and the effect of the removal of petrol and foreign exchange subsidies. The approved year 2025 budget of 3.367 trillion comprises of 2.071 trillion for capital expenditure and 1.295 trillion for recurrent expenditure, including debt charges, establishing a capital to recurrent ratio of 62 to 38. Total revenue estimated at 2.968 trillion with a deficit funding requirement of 398.662 billion, which represents 13% of the total revenue, which also emphasizes the budget's strong dependence on revenue. Our overall goals in attaining the budget sustainability are to ensure the durability, functionality, and adaptability of our physical assets.
The State Commissioner for Finance assures Lagos residents that the state is managing its finances responsibly and the government is committed to economic stability, social equity, and sustainable development for all.
What was our revenue performance last year? He said it. We performed over 100%. This is unprecedented. That is number one. Then secondly, what also is the normal debt sustainability ratios? Because the most important thing about debt management is in sustainability ratios. Like he said, in Lagos State last year, our sustainability ratio is just about 20%. How does that compare with the global standard? World Bank ratio is about 30%. The national ratio of Nigeria is about 40%, and ours was just only 20%, which shows that our debts are being managed very, very well. But you see, the most important thing to us is what are our plans for this year? First and foremost, do not forget that budget is a statement of expenditure and income. So this year, in line with what we did last year, we have several strategic initiatives to make sure that we generate much more revenue. We catalyze the business environment. We take the opportunities that in the environment in different areas that you mentioned to be able to generate much more revenue. And the more revenue we generate, the better our debt sustainability ratio. Secondly, we're also going into what we call creative financing options, self-financing options. What does that mean? It means that there are different other strategic options that we will use to finance our budget that does not, translate into debt. Which are some of the other things we also say we're going to be doing this year. So at the end of the year, you might find out that even the money that we said we're going to borrow, even the deficit financing that we're talking about, we might not even need to resort to deficit financing at all.
While the Commissioner for Transportation, Health and Water Resources speaks about the state government's plans for their ministries and its benefit to the people.
We're currently refurbishing 47 primary healthcare hospitals to bring them up to a very advanced stage of modernization, including the addition of solar panels to be in concert with the new policy of the state in terms of climate-friendly infrastructure. Our major big general hospitals are Massey Street. Everybody can see Massey Street is at an advanced stage. The same thing with Ojo General. Massey Street is going to be the pediatric center of excellence for Lagos, and it will represent the ability to refer patients from Nigeria and the sub-region. Ojo General Hospital is a major general hospital in between Alimosho and Badagry, where we have a gap in terms of access to secondary health care. Emphasis on mental health. We're building the largest mental health institute in Ketu Ejirians for psychiatric cases, as well as for addiction and rehabilitation.
What we want to do is to ensure that we keep ramping up the resilient infrastructure that will help us mitigate against the impact of climate change. Last year, we did so much. And we had serious rain incidents, but we had bits and pieces of flash flooding statewide. And what the governor has said is we have to improve on that and provide more infrastructure. We also mentioned here that we are trying to transit and decommission some of our landfills, namely Olushoso and the one on the expressway to Ekpe. So which means we are going to transit and implement more of our waste to energy projects and see them to fruition before the end of this year.
Talking about completion of projects, I would like to also mention that most of all our projects are intentional, and we ensure that they also do link up. The Oto bridge that the SA works spoke about, as Ministry of Transportation, we're also doing the junction improvement for the Okwedi Allen road to complement that particular road. Because of the influx of traffic that bridge would bring, we had to quickly get on the junction improvement for that Okwedi Allen, such that it would complement that road and be able to carry that traffic. As we speak, that is ongoing and it's about 40-45% done. In the rail space, we also have the Blue Line Phase 2 that is ongoing. The Phase 1 that we all know has moved well over 2 million people, which from Marina to Mautu. But the Phase 2 starts from Mautu to Kokomaiko, and that's also ongoing and about 60%, 70% done, and we intend to finish that this year.
The Lagos State government urges residents to support the initiatives of the authority, comply with tax payments, as revenue mobilization remains crucial in realizing the Greater Lagos vision.
And finally on the program, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured residents that the Phase 2 of the Adon Water Project will be completed within the next 10 to 12 months. Governor Sanwo-Olu made this comment when he visited the project site in the Iju area of Lagos. He says once the project is ready, it will supply 70 million gallons of water daily to meet the growing demand of Lagosians for clean and reliable potable water.
Adon Water Works 2 project is located in the heart of Iju-Shaga area of Lagos. The project was awarded in 2012 under the administration of former Governor Babatude Fashola to provide safe drinking water to Lagos residents. Unfortunately, the project experienced some delay over the years due to funding issues. Adon 2 project is designed to produce 70 million gallons of water daily, and the current administration is racing to deliver it. A major reason Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his deputy, Kadri Amzat, and some cabinet members are visiting the site to see the progress of work. Before the inspection exercise, the contractor in charge gives a breakdown of the construction of the water treatment plant.
The pipeline work is a tough work because of the depth of the excavation, because of the area. It's not an easy area, it's a rural area. Area boys, a lot of traffic, but we were able to interact well with the environment, and we are moving forward very well. We mobilize, actually we start the work purely on 13th of January, because the month of November and December we spend to reactivate all the machinery, to record the people. It's not easy, even this activity, because after a long standby, also our plants go in default, the batching plant, but we call an expert to fix back. It's working fine. Today we are casting the foundation of the disinfection building, and we are working also in other building of the treatment plant. And in the pipeline, we fixed 68 pipes since 13th of January. So it means that we are following very well the program, because we achieved 500 meters, 600 meters in 3 weeks. The remaining pipe are like 766. As of today, 178 pipe are already started. Remain 766. So we did, let me say, almost the 10% in 3 weeks. So myself, I'm confident that within the end of September, we reach Akute. Okay? Of course, to complete fully the pipeline, we need also to import some carbon steel pipe, because the beginning, the end, and in the middle, where is a bridge, we have to fix the carbon steel pipe. This pipe have to come from China. We have a little challenge to face, but personally, I'm working on it to have this pipe as soon as possible here. And actually, I don't have anything to add to the words of the Managing Director of Lagos Water Corporation and the words that spent also Engineer Kocha.
Next, the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, as well as the General Manager of the Lagos State Water Corporation, explained the capacity of Adon 1, 2, and the areas that will benefit from the project when completed.
For your vision, for your dedication, for your passion, I say thank you. And for those who follow the trend of events in the U.S., when the governor said we must take our heavy lifting without waiting for donor agencies, it's already vindicated with what's happening to U.S. aid. Digress, U.S. aid promised us $48 million for 5 of our mini and micro water works, but Donald Trump had cancelled it. Thankfully, government said this we must take ourselves, and is already doing that. Mr. Governor, upon completion of this, the 70 million gallons, which is 11 million gallons from Adon 1, 4 million from Iju, and 4.5 from Chassis, we are sure Lagosians, about 5 or 6 million Lagosians, will have access to pipe-borne water.
Adon 1, that exists already, was commissioned in 1991 was paid for by the World Bank Lagos State Water Expansion Program, and it functions today, serving many local governments, starting from Sherioke down through Ogudu to Shomolu, and it meets up with Iju at Carry Bridge and feeds the island through Lagos Island, Ikoyi, and eventually Victoria Island. So in line with the state government's commitment to meet state water demand, the 2 projects was started in 2012, and it was planned to be completed in 3 years, but due to several delays, this 3-year completion has been unrealizable. I must recognize the efforts of Mr. Governor and the current administration in realization of this project. It was one of the first projects that was visited by your administration on the 10th of October 2019. After the 2019 inspection, a few financial constraints were resolved, but not long after that, we were hit by the COVID-20 that also set the project into another forced suspension. More recently, Mr. Governor's intervention and the unwavering commitment of the state government, payments have been made to both the contractor and the consultant here present today. And I'm happy to inform you, Mr. Governor, that as a result of these decisive actions, we are back to site and we're working. The current project is separated into 3 phases. The first phase is the concrete works, which we saw on the way driving here. It's the actual water treatment plant with the filters and the treatment facilities, the dewatering systems. That's at about 80% completion. The next phase is the electromechanical equipment. They've been procured. 70% of them are here on site. They're stored in containers that were also on the way here. We can have a look at them. And the last phase will be the raw water line that goes from here back to Akute. About 1 kilometer of that has been completed. And 1 kilometer was completed, but in the past 4 or 5 months, they've done another 60 joints, which is about half a kilometer. So we want to appreciate the contractor's efforts in that realm.
After the talk, the team moves to inspect the facility and the laying of pipes. Governor Sanwo-Olu says he will ensure timely completion of the project before the end of his tenure.
We're believing that the contractor is working on all the 3 components, and they've assured us, given the financing plan that we have put together, but in another 10 to 12 months, that this whole place will be a completely different story. that Lagosians will begin now to plan for additional 70 million gallons of water per day entering into the water supply of Lagos. But we still have work to do because at the transmission and connection end, we still have a lot of reticulations that we need to go back and have the full complements of this water, and we can be rest assured that if we do our planning well, it should be able to even cross the Lagos Lagoon and get all the way to the island and some other parts of Ikoyi and Lekki. So our job is not finished yet. Our job, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of reticulation, in terms of transmitting, these huge waterworks. There are existing lines that we're going to utilize, but we still need to build a bit more capacity. But the first real work is the major waterworks which we've seen, which we've identified this morning. And part of the things that is also coming up, we have an IPP in Akute. We're going to enhance and improve that IPP because for Adon 2 alone, it will need about 5 megahertz. So both on the IPP side and on the on the grid side, we need to be able to provide enough power for them.
The Lagos State government says with the level of work so far carried out at Adon 2 waterworks, the project is expected to be delivered in the next 12 months.
That's the program for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Remember to always obey all state laws, be the best in all that you do, and most importantly, live a healthy life. Bye for now.